As we were to let it grow strong to help.
What's up, y'all? I'm Benny. I play bass in the band Soul Seed.
My name is Sky. I play didgeridoo, vocals, keys, management.
I love it. Man of all trades.
Yes, sir.
So you guys are an Oregon band playing Reggae Rise Up Oregon. What does this set mean to you guys on your home turf?
It's absolutely tremendous honor. This is our second time out here. We were out here last year as well. 3 years ago, we were in Vegas. Blessed to be brought in down there. Second year here in Oregon. There's so many talented bands in Oregon playing reggae music. We've been blessed enough to be out here for 15 years, based out of the Northwest in Oregon, but traveling all over the country. So being able to represent the state here for Reggae Rise Up Oregon is quite the honor. So we're very, very blessed to be here to represent that and hold it down for all the other local bands in Oregon as well, have some representation and get to see a lot of our friends and family out here too at these festivals.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I even saw on your guys' thing, on your guys' video you guys put on IG and stuff, a lot of people that I know, mutual friends and everything, they were like, you guys held it down, loved the set and everything. And I was like, oh, that's just mad love.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely underscore all of that, and also just like there's out here in the Northwest, it's kind of spread out. There's not a lot of prominent, like we know the areas of the country that a lot of the prominent reggae bands come from, typically speaking, and just like the vibe and the culture. But so it's nice to hold down, like we always called it rainy day reggae out here in like Oregon, like Northwest vibes. It's just different out here. It's more spread out, but there's such a like a groundedness to it, and so it's really nice to mix it up with just like this community out here in Reggae Rise Up and like the national community that brings in. So it's sweet. Yeah.
Definitely. And your guys' music is really tied to woods, river, and generally, Pacific Northwest. How does this setting shape your guys' energy today?
Man, I mean, it's always been kind of a cornerstone of like our vibe of music is just really organic. Like we don't even really play with, we don't play like with backing tracks and click tracks and those big production type things that are like kind of standard in the industry these days. We keep it really just kind of organic and natural, and that's kind of what our vibe is, and that's where we that's where we can bring up people to jam really easily, and just like that community vibe is really what we've always prioritized in our music, and how we kind of go about the business of it too.
I just want to add to the rootiness of the music, right? I mean, the reggae music and music in general can be about so many different things, and just based on where bands are from and what their upbringing is, the content of the music is based on certain things, of course. We're in the Northwest. Benny just said rainy day reggae, right? But it's like, roots run deep is kind of the mantra of our song with Family Tree. And I play didgeridoo, which is very unique in general, but certainly in reggae music. But it's also like it's a straight hollowed piece of oak tree. And I haven't painted it intentionally because I like the natural organicness of that and of the earth, and our lyrics are very poignant and deep and meaningful to like universally driven by the Northwest vibe up here. So again, bringing it back to Oregon, representing Oregon, but also like the rootsiness of that and having just kind of like a raw and organic vibe to our music. Like we take a lot of pride in.
Yeah, and I think it really shows, and I think it transcends further than just Oregon. When I say Pacific Northwest, I think it's everything surrounding, because your guys' sound is so unique on that end too. Didgeridoo is not an easy thing to play whatsoever. It being so unique, it just, like you said, you don't really see it that often, especially within a reggae community and everything, but you guys like really like kill it, and that's like one of the things for me years ago that drawed me to you guys personally.
Thank
so
you.
I still
Appreciate
love that you guys still do that. I really do.
Bless you. Thank you.
And after some time away for life and family, what feels different about being back on the stage?
It's like such a great question. Yeah, we talk about that a lot. So to catch anybody up, we really got rolling about 2009, 2010, hit the road in 2011, and didn't stop until pandemic. Took a couple years off with pandemic and just kind of rechanged things, families changing things. And the last couple years we've been back at it. And for me personally, I'll just speak from like the management side of things, right? Like on stage there's certain things, but on the management side, booking shows, bringing in festivals, touring or not touring, there are a lot of changes. Honestly, like just like basic things, like a lot of the venues we used to play don't exist anymore. Literally. A lot of the bands we used to tour with don't exist, or they're not at the same pace. We're not at the same pace. We're all 5-6 years older now all of a sudden, So for me, it's a different approach to how we were going. We went just like nonstop for a decade, which was a blessing. But having some time away, for better or worse, kind of bittersweet, but it just gave that like life perspective of like, okay, we're not 22 anymore. you know, it's a different approach of going at this, and like how to handle the business side and the fun side and the connections and all that. So for me personally, it's not better or worse. It's just it's a much different approach coming at it the second time around. I really feel like it's the same career because it's Soul Seed, but it's like for me it's just a new leaf entirely.
Yeah, I think to add on to that, we all of the effort and the work that we put into, 150 plus shows a year for a decade, we're able to kind of coast on that momentum now, and we're not paying rent with the music anymore, which is what we were doing for a while, and that was a grind. Like we all know how much that can be a grind sometimes. But now it's like we all have our day jobs, like Sky said, and now like we're coming back to the music, and every single show that we play is just amazing, and we're back to the kind of joy and freedom and just levity of like how music started before it became a grind and a job, and how we pay ends meet and all of those things, which it's a beautiful gift that can be, but it's also it can get kind of, it can be some baggage, and so it's just really nice to be able to bring it all back and play music, just to play music again, and have every show be great, and fly out to festivals and do these things that we were grinding so hard to do, and now it's just more coming to us. So that feels really nice, and it kind of changes our perspective on the music again, and like gets back to the roots of it.
Yeah.
And just like the heart and soul of it, and coming together with your brothers, and just like doing this amazing collective thing that transcends, the sum is greater than its parts. So
like a good friend always tells me, you got to find balance in this type of lifestyle.
It's
Music
hard to
is
lose
not
it.
easy. It's a lot of grit, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of holding back words and such.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's nothing comes easy, obviously, but this is not like on like the inside the most glamorous of. So it's great that you guys have found a good balance to where you guys are really enjoying it and not grinding yourself down into the gears and like kind of dreading the next show, a little stepping on you guys' toes, things like that. Really good to avoid. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, thanks.
And you guys have mentioned being back in the studio. What can fans expect for this next chapter of Soul Seed?
Well, we have had a lot of songs, in the holster, ready to go for many years now. I mean, Family Tree or The Spark was released 2017. So we are going on a decade since our last release. I mean, we released Shades of Green as a single, but that was still a long time ago. So we've definitely got a full album's worth of music, and now it's just finding the time and the energy to get together and do it. When we do all, we all live in different towns across the Northwest, day jobs, families, kids, new business ventures. We're all doing different stuff, and we're all busy, adult life, like it's what happens. But now it's just finding the time, which we're trying to put that in this upcoming winter into spring, to just get back in the studio and crush it out and get a good release, because we got a lot of beautiful art to share still, and it's overdue at this point.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, for folks listening and wondering, I mean, for us too, like we've playing over different sets. We're playing probably 5 new songs pretty frequently. So new music is happening. People are hearing new music live, but like actual recordings have been just in the midst, coming up, which is great. But the process of writing music has also, evolved for us over the years, which is really great. We don't all live in the same house anymore. 15 years ago, man, we just kind of like walk downstairs.
Just like walk downstairs. And
yeah, 3 people would be jamming. You're kind of like, no, it's kind of cool. Hold on, I'll be right back. Grab your shit, hang out, and we can do our own thing. And nowadays, it's just, it's a lot different. But again, I think like the intentionality of what we're doing, we've always been intentional, but now it's more intentional, which just feels great. So when it comes, it'll be special.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can't wait to hear some of that and stuff, you know what I mean? And I know I've said it probably 100 times. I know it's exaggerating, but, Family Tree, it's become a major song for the band. What does that track mean for you guys now, especially going into this next chapter?
Family Tree is undoubtedly our hit. It's the one people know. It's the one that we come to a festival here, of course. It's the track that we travel the country with, and if no one's heard us before, they've heard that, which is a blessing to have one of those songs.
Yeah.
And we have a handful within Soul Seed, universe, but Family Tree is kind of like our national hit, which is amazing. And to that, our good friends and family Sugarshack Sessions, which we can't say enough love for. 2014-15, we started touring across the country. Again, we're from Oregon, so touring down to Florida is literally as far as we can go. And we did it on a whim. We didn't know anybody, didn't have any connections. I reached out to Sugarshack just on their website, kind of like, hey, this would be kind of cool to connect with a media outlet and just see what happens. No money exchange, nothing like that. Just like, hey, man, we're coming a long way. If you could just turn your phone on and record us, it'd be cool, Like, hey, come on down. It'd be great. We do this thing. We're like, cool. We record Family Tree and some other songs. And over the next 10 years, I mean, it's got 8 million some views at the time of this. Almost
10 million.
almost 9, something, all told or whatever, which is incredible. And the Sugarshack community and what they bring to not only the reggae scene, but in general across music for independent artists has been absolutely phenomenal. We flew them out again to do our Shades of Green music video. So when you see that as well, Sugarshack helped produce that as well. So we have 2 sessions with them, and it's our anthem, honestly. I mean, like when we play it, I mean, people look forward to it. They start singing along. They know it, right? Like, it's a real special opportunity to play a song like that. So Family Tree, literally as a song, has blown up for us. It's a blessing. But as an actual song, like I remember writing it on the bus in between shows, and all of us have verses on it. That's how we write songs. So we kind of would just scribble things out, and then we would just play another version of it some night, and things would stick and they wouldn't, and we started piecing it together. But that's how we used to write music, was on the bus, because we were never home long enough to rehearse. So that's like a super raw version of how things came together, So Family Tree is also like our community, On the album art, if you look that up, there's a tree, which our good brother Matt Milano made art of, but it's all written out. It's actually a replica of the banyan tree on Maui, Hawaii in Lahaina. And it's just a blessing, man. The whole song and album and thing is just really special.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and to quote our good brother Carl Lopes, the late Carl Lopes, we recently lost him. He was our percussion player for 12 plus years, but he said once, he was even like before he started playing with us, he was like, being in the crowd during a Soul Seed show is like being part of a big group hug. And that always stuck with me as just something that is that intangible but super, intangible but super tangible feeling of that family, like that and that. So that's just, it's just crazy that the Family Tree became like our hit, quote unquote, because that sums it all up. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys lived in a single house. It was literally the family tree. You guys, I mean, you guys think it like you said, you guys all wrote little bits of it all together, but it all seemed to work out together because you guys are dealing with all the same stuff together. Yep. So I mean, it really magical.
Yeah, we got really lucky to have all of each other. All of super even-keeled people, like no ego involved, like no crazy drug addictions. It's like we stayed solid for 15 years, so we're super lucky. Yeah,
rare. Big blessings on that.
Yeah.
And a lot of reggae bands like to talk about unity, but your guys' music actually centers community. So what does that community mean for Soul Seed in 2026?
Yeah, I think it's funny because it feels like in a lot of ways we're living in a world that is separating us and dividing us more than any other time that we're living in, between like the artificial community of social media and like smartphones and all of this tech and this digital world that we're just swamped in. And I feel like we can all agree that we're kind of like losing that humanity and that community. And I think it's really important now more than ever before to be doing what we're doing and to be playing music and squeezing into our busy schedules as much as we can, and getting together and writing new music to release new music, to connect with new people and play new shows, like doing the live show thing, this real art form in this world of AI and like artificial art, like what this like to do something that is real is more important than ever. That brings people together because we need that. There's so many things tearing us apart right now. And I think that's, for me personally, is like where community comes in. And like, we're supposed to be community-based people. Like, we are a community-based, humans are community-based, and we're losing that. So this brings it together,
And just on the point to your last question about Family Tree, I mean, like, community is like why we exist. I mean, every band says it, every artist will always say this, and it's true. Without the people, there wouldn't be a Soul Seed, right? Like we would make music for ourselves all day long, right? But like it's the ability to share it through media outlets like yourself, through stage, through acoustic sessions. We've played on like, half of this country's sidewalks over 15 years on days off or before a show, and not necessarily to make money or nothing. It was just like, hey, we could play music right now for anyone that hasn't heard us before. And the amount of opportunities that have come from that kind of stuff is indescribable, and I'm not going to compare Soul Seed and our fan base to anybody else. It's just not fair, I don't think, for any artist to do that. But I'll speak from our side. A Soul Seed show and environment is incredibly special. I know that. The people that come to our shows who have been there before come in with a certain intentionality also. And we have a lot of fun. We're silly. I'm shouting at the crowd. They're shouting back. We're running all over stage. We're doing all sorts of goofy stuff. But there's also a lot of sincerity to it. And people understand that. And there's a lot of emotion that happens, highs and lows at shows. And it's very real. It's very raw. And people really appreciate that. And we have our communities all over the country now, which we've been so blessed to have create with us. And it goes to show when we play a festival, in a certain part of the country, and we see people, and then we see them, they give us a hug like, hey, last time I saw you was in X state. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's on the other side of the country. Yeah. That was 8 years ago. But they've followed along. They've seen us. They came back to see us. They're out here rocking our merch. Yeah. We haven't made this particular shirt in like 12 years, and that's the shirt that they still wear. I mean, things like that are just like what do you say to that as an artist? You know what I mean? Yeah. So the community is why I play music. It's what we need more than ever anyway, especially these days, and we take a lot of pride in it.
Yeah. Well, it definitely shows with you guys, trust me. And I'm thankful that you guys came through today and all that stuff and gave me this time. Any final thoughts?
I want to thank you for taking the time as well. There's a lot of artists here all weekend long, and you took the time to reach out to us, and we've been tracking each other down all day, which is part of festival life, but like having the energy and enthusiasm to make this happen. I appreciate what you're doing, documenting things for artists, like these are special things. Like, again, we've been doing this 15 years. A lot of the artists around here have been around a long time. We're living in the moment now, which I cherish a lot, right? Especially with recent changes, to life with us and our band. But in another 10 years, we're going to watch this interview, and just like catch a certain energy, a vibe and things. And it's really special. So I want to thank you and just want to give love to everybody out there, man. Everybody could use a hug. You know what I mean? Don't be shy to your strangers and your friends. A lot of bands say it, but we find it true, friends, fans, friends, family. We take that very seriously, and that builds the community. So thank you very much, and appreciate all the listeners out there. And when you do come out to a Soul Seed show, be yourself, dance however you want. Hug your friends, come up and say hi to us. We're regular people, and we'd love to meet you.
Hell yeah.
What he said. Big ups, Reggae, rise up.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, me, I always like to meet people organically and everything. I actually have had a lot of mutual friends try to introduce me to you guys for about 4 years now. But I said, as soon as we cross paths, it's going to be an organic meeting and everything. And I like the organic meetings because it's less prompted too on what you could expect from me. Right. Because there's a couple people that probably would have give you guys a text message or a call and been like, this is kind of the edge he goes, is this direction. I don't like giving anybody heads up. So I'm thankful for you guys for just being that real, raw organ vibe that I was hoping you guys would stay true to off stage. You know what I mean? But thank you guys so much for giving me this time.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Helping souls and family to let it grow.